Well, there you are again. Charlie Greer podcast. Again today. We're going to talk about damn hair. Was Charles Manson an agent, like a government agent? A spy? An agent vacateur? See, the best spies are ones that don't know they're spies. I mean, the intelligence game is the weirdest shit. Would he know? Sorry about that. It gets weird. Strange. Of course, we live in a strange and mysterious world. So yeah, Manson, Charles Manson. Was he an agent? Was there some kind of see? You're not going to go, hey, see, Charlie, you're an agent now, and no, none of that. He's going to be sheep dipped. That's an intelligence term where they don't know what they're doing. He's just you got to just kind of pry people along, and something's up. I suggest you read Tom O'Neill's book Chaos. Also read Nicholas Schreck's book Manson Files. But there was something up with Manson. I mean, the story he learned guitar because Charles Manson was a great guitarist and singer. You'd think it'd be like death metal. No, he would write a poppy tune. The Beach Boys covered a Manson song. I mean, he wrote a song for the Beach Boys when he was before all this shit went down. He lived with Dennis Wilson, the drummer of the Beach Boys. Huh? You're just gonna get out of prison. Here I am living it. Come on. Some people say they were dating. Maybe it was the 60s. I mean, but Manson, okay, he learned guitar in prison. Well, who taught him? Creepy Carpus, like a mobbed up Creepy Carpus. Shit. You sure you want to share a cell with Creepy Carpus? Let me tell you about certain things. Why would Manson have the privilege of like learning from Creepy or being his cellmate? You know, he's just a hillbilly from Kentucky. Manson is, and who another cellmate of his, Frank Costello. Frank Costello, major mob dude, major. You're just not going to be, well, I'm rooming with Frank Costello. No, that ain't gonna. That's some bullshit right there. Something else is going on. And also how they released him. He's released in San Francisco, and then he's got a bus. He's got a gas card, got a credit card. And they're like, well, I'm going to LA. He wasn't going. He was on parole, man. Every month you got to go see your parole snitch or whatever. You know, you got to go in there and talk to those fools. Time and time again, over 2 years, he was getting arrested, letting go. So that's another thing. How many times he was arrested while he was on parole? And he's not seeing his parole agent. He's getting arrested like left and right. That's strange. Highly strange and unusual. And a bunch of hippies, like that night they went to the Tate house, murdered those people. Man, that seemed like a military kind of, the wires were cut. You think a hillbilly's going to know what wires to cut and climb the thing and nobody's going to see in that little... Come on, man. That dog don't hunt. Something's up. He had to have... And also, they replaced people. Charles Manson could have been a doppelganger and shit. Could there have been a couple? I don't know. I'm just asking questions on this. I mean, he was good, but not good enough. I mean, Neil Young took him to Reprise Records and trying to get him signed. He recorded an album for Reprise in like a major studio. It's never been heard. He recorded in Brian Wilson's personal studio, which only a few people had ever even been, were recorded in. Here's Charlie Manson, recorded a whole album with Brian Wilson, never been released. They used one of his songs, didn't pay him. See, that might have been shouldn't have done that. So obviously Manson was mobbed up. You're learning guitar from Creepy Carpus, and your sellies with Frank Costello. You're mobbed up. You've forget you know they know you, they trust, they this that you're again. There's levels to that. He wasn't he's Charles Manson. What, he's 5 foot, 90 pounds. He's a little guy. Could you imagine selling with Frank Costello? Better if you accidentally hold your gas in, man. I don't know. Maybe he was a sweet guy, Frank. You never know. But cheers, black coffee. It is 10:12 in the a.m. I'm actually doing this a little. I slept in. I usually get up at 6 in the morning. Well, my dogs they got me up at 4 this morning. So I walked them, of course. They go, okay, let's go. I came back and I slept till like 9. Awesome. I never sleep in. So yeah, Manson. And it's Sharon Tate. Her father was a military, I don't know if it's intelligence or whatever, but he was an undercover. He was, at the time she was murdered, he had long hair. He was like on the strip, Sunset Strip, kind of snitching or whatever, what they do. Abigail Folger was there that night. She lost her life, bless her heart. She was heir to the Folgers, like Folgers Coffee. And her boyfriend, another victim that night, Wojciech Szykowski, whatever the hell his name was, Polish rich dude who had financed. Sharon was married to Roman Polanski, who happened to not be there that night. He financed one of Roman's first movies. He was rich. And what they don't tell you is Abigail Folger and Wojtek, they were found outside of the house. They were the only two that were outside of the house. Had the brunt of it looked like they were attacked more than anybody. Now, why would that be? Were they the ones that really went? Because Wojtek was a big time drug dealer. The Folgers, again, they've been coffee companies and banana companies. They smuggled drugs for shit. Who God knows how long. I'm not saying she did. I'm asking questions here. And I'm talking about like both stabbed like 40 to 60 times, brutal. And then right there, an open window that's, screened in open window was that one dude. You understand that one guy, Steve, what was his name? He was there. He claimed I don't know. He was in like the guest house. The hair touched on his head. The boyfriend of the landlord or some kind of shit. Didn't hear anything. Hot night. There wasn't any AC. So people had their windows open. He didn't hear anything. When people heard from a mile, we heard screams and shots. That's it. Like when the cops finally got there, he was in there like this, la la la, listening to music. Like, what the fuck? You haven't came out? This is in the middle of the afternoon. You didn't look out your window and see that there was a massacre. You would have smelt it, man. What the? Nope. Didn't see. No, didn't hear. And then there was a dude in the driveway, Stephen Parrott, this young guy who supposedly didn't have anything to do, but he just happened to go show there at the same time, went and tried to sell a clock radio to this dude in the guest house. He said no, and he was leaving. They shot him and stabbed him. He didn't hear that. Like, you just close the door, your windows are open, and you're do-do-do, and you don't hear gunfire. You don't hear, help me, none of that. You can damn near throw a rock and hit me. It's right there. Nope, he didn't. So at first they thought this dude in the guest house, who was, what's his, Rudolph Altabelli, what the landlord, who moved back in, stayed there forever, and didn't clean up. He would have parties and, look at the stain here. Like, Trent Reznor was the last person of Nine Inch Nails to live there. He turned it into a studio. He recorded the Downward Spiral, that album. And then Marilyn Manson did that for the Portrait of American Family, where that first Marilyn Manson album was recorded at that house, the Murray's one. And then they got tore down. They rebuilt a super mansion, a bigger. Change the address. They always do that. We got to change the address because now it's. And this is one of the reasons why I know some shit was going on. The gun that was used in multiple crimes. The one that killed the kid in the car and he used that night, maybe another night, was registered to fucking Ronald Reagan. At the time, he wasn't the governor of California, Ronald Reagan, who became our president, who, legend tell it, him and his wife, they did swinger parties for like the famous back in the day. Like him and his wife, what's her name? They were like the elite swinger party people. What? So the gun, Ronald Reagan, and they're like, oh, well, see, what happened was he gave it to a guy in a movie, a stuntman he liked, and then that stuntman gave it to someone down at the Spawn Ranch where the Manson families were staying. And then the Manson people stole that gun, and then, are you kidding me? That's a yarn. Huh? That stood up in court. Well, see, yeah, it was really Reagan. Like, you're going to give a gun away, and a stuntman, it's not going to re-register his name, just kind of keep it in Ronnie's name, Ronald Reagan. That seems like a sacrifice to me. Like something happened, like shit that I don't know about, like these weird Moloch or whatever the hell. Something went right. Come on. You got, and this is another thing. Charlie wasn't there. He wasn't there. And supposedly, but he was the mastermind. He had come on, dude. Who did most of the killing? All the killing was this guy named Tex Watson, Charles Tex Watson. He was the one that did all the stabbing and this and that, and killed Sharon Tate and all those people. And the next night too. But they went after Charles Manson. He's a guru. He'll hypnotize you. Yeah, right. And they kept him on lockdown his whole life. I mean, he's spit in prison. Now, granted, but Tex Watson, they let him, get married and then conjugal visits, and he became a preacher and all this shit. And he bared children when he's in prison. He's the one that did all that murderous shit, not Charles Manson. See, I can't believe they got away with. I mean, dude. Hopefully, one of these days we'll find out. Manson was being used, whether he knew he was an agent or whatever you want to call it, cheap dip. I don't know. He was being dangled. I got no strings. He was fucking Pinocchio. What else do you shit? And they're like, well, it was over a record deal. See, they might have sent these people, hey, come to the party. There was a little get together that night. Matter of fact, on the same street down there was 2 parties. One had 100 people. These are celebrities. I forgot the actor's name, but he was holding up right there. Ha 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 ha. And later, like, oh yeah, I guess we did hear some screams and some bullets, but a party, it's LA, Supposedly, Mama Cass Elliott from the Mamas and Papas, came that morning after the murder to get some, get her whatever she wanted. And she stumbled upon, oh God, get out of here. Steve McQueen. There was all these people that supposedly went. Rick James was supposed to be there that night too. Like, huh? Rick James, super freak. Super freak, that guy was supposed to be, I was too hungover to go. That's what it's, too hungover to go. Who did you know that would invite you to? Well, see, I was dating a hairdresser that, come on, man. And then all these people connected either died mysteriously or actually became in our lexicon. Like they were promoted. They were famous. They became, and then Tate in them, Sharon Tate and Roman Polanski. All he did, the movies up to that was just about sacrificial satanic murder and that. And he wasn't there that night though. He was in Europe or somewhere, kind of preparing for a movie. I got a Dead Sea. Back in the day, I used to manage a smoke shop. It was either in Granada Hills or Reseda. It was right there it was called the Lion's Lair. And I've told this before in my other video about Manson, that my boss called me. He's like, hey, the family's coming in to sell. I buy all my like bamboo pipes and tie-dyed hemp rope stuff, jewelry from these people. Manson fan. What do you mean family? I thought they were dead. Well, no, some of them were teenagers back then. So they're about, not too much older than you. And I was like, too much older than me. Like, so they came in that first time. I was kind of scared. And they were just hippies. There's like 5 of them, 4 of them, They came in and just put a blanket down right in the middle of the floor where we sat. And I was like, hey, you guys the people can't, you got to come in the office. I brought them in the office. And after I worked there a year, they'd come like once a month, maybe. I heard them. See, they weren't talking to me. I heard what they were saying. And they were saying some shit about, it was like a murder inside of a murder or something that happened with the landlord and these dudes. I wouldn't like, excuse me, what did you just say? Because when I'd come around or go in the office, they would shut up. And I never got too close to them. But there was 2 of them, 2 guys. At the time, I was like 30, maybe it's like 21 years ago or something like that. And they were like not even 50 yet. So the older you get, that I thought, like, man, the Manson murders are so far out in my mind. They would be like, old, crippled up. No, these people were still, 14, 15, 16. I was born in 71. So they were like almost like 20 years older than me. They all lived in some kind of apartment building or duplex where they all like jacked up. And I was like, oh my God. And I talked to my boss. I'm like, man, he goes, oh, dude, that was a thing to go up there at the Spawn Ranch, which is not too far away from Granada Hills. It's on Santa something road or Pass Road. I've drove back there so many times and realized, wait a minute, that's where it was at, that old field? Like, and they would go up. They're like, man, if we were bored, we want to get high, we want to get laid, we go to the Spawn Ranch. And everybody was down at the Spawn Ranch, man. The Beach Boys, Terry Melcher, the Beatles. Supposedly the illegal, they had an illegal like restaurant club there, bar, whatever, one of those huts, and it was called Helter Skelter. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is this rumor. But then the Beatles' White Album came out, and they have a song called Helter Skelter, and Charles is like, what they say? Everybody wanted to be around Manson. He was supposed to be the next big thing. Matter of fact, an album was supposed to come out, The Family Jams. And some of those songs are hippie-ish, but they're pretty good. I mean, really good vocals. Something ain't right. I don't know what it is. Now, I mean, I know that people are sheep dipped. They use people for nefarious, that may not even know. I'm talking about celebrities. And I did the one episode about the dude from the Gong Show, Ferris, whatever. He admits that's what he was. He was the host of the Gong Show, but in reality, he was like a CIA hitman that had like 36 hits. And it was a perfect cover. That was going to, this little dude trained by some, government trained. And that's what people around him admit, like, dude, they made a movie, Confessions of the Dangerous Mind. Watch it. Chuck Barris. Admits, if he's still alive, that that's what he was. He had to get off his conscience. Like, dude, it ain't just me. Even though I never got that far up the celebrity ladder, one of the reasons why, because every time I'd get a little notch up, there was other shit that they wanted me to do that I wasn't about to do. That had nothing to do with creativity, talent, charm, charisma, nothing. All this weird shit. And again, I can feel people. No. Nope. Because for one, I knew I was being lied to. I knew it was and also know certain things about, like, man, this ain't a one-time deal. If you ask me to do, then you got a little fucking dirt on me, and then I have to, No, I'm not fucking stupid. I'm not going to be. People are delusional about themselves. Yeah, see, it's because no, you're being used, man. There's gotta be, again, read Tom O'Neill's book, Chaos. He said that was that murder had to do with like to kill the hippie movement. They were starting Vietnam. They wanted to go strong, headstrong, and then they needed to see. And then once they need that, well, let's they get let's get a think tank. Well, let's not ruin a perfect bad situation. Let's do some other shit and mix it up. And oh yeah, that night that they went, like Tex Watson and like 3 hippie girls. I don't care how good at football Tex was or how big of a dude he was. He wasn't that big. You mean they're going to show up? You're going to show up hippies. High, they were. Know what pole to climb and cut the wire. Are you shitting me? That's the story. Well, yeah, see, Tex went up there and cut the wire, and then the dude, like they say, was leaving when they shot him. The kid that showed up with the Stephen Parent, I think his name was, with the clock radio. But there's another thing about the Stephen Parent guy, and you can see footage of that. You can see that when he was leaving, it must have been in a hurry, because when he backed out, he damn almost near went off the cliff. He broke down the white fence, and his back end was busted, back rear end, and he was taking up something. That ain't it's a lie. Whatever happened, it ain't. We're not getting the full story. Whatever they're telling you about that is some shit. The whole, what were they saying? He wanted the helter skelter and like they ruled the world. He was a guru. Man, that was some bullshit. Some of these people have come forward, the people that were in the family that were close to him. He didn't, and another, he didn't want, you could smoke weed and you could do like LSD or something. He didn't want any drugs, about cocaine, any of that speed, whatever. Charlie would, matter of fact, that's why Tex Watson was like kicked off because he was dealing speed or whatever. Something ain't right. And they knew an old jailhouse motherfucker like Manson. He ain't gonna snitch. He's not gonna, that world he's in, he knows, even if it's outside of jail and they find out he's a fucking ink stain. You can't do that. So there's these codes and rules and regulations about that, you're not gonna, so they know, hey man, he'll keep his mouth shut. Also, we can like kind of mind fuck him with they have ways. And I think that's exactly what happened. This is my humble opinion. I'm not sure what went on. Oh, and the next night, the LaBiancas, the couple that they went in, and now supposedly Charlie was there that night, went in and tied him up. Little Charlie Manson tied them both up. Yeah, that's an Italian dude, been around. His mean ass wife. You think that they're gonna just, okay, tie me up? This little. Then comes find out he was in debt with the mob, man. He was a gambler. He was all mobbed up. They had a grocery store, and she had like a little like dress store. And the rumors say that they were, slinging out of that. The cover for them slinging their fucking shit. I suppose like Charlie was looking for a little black book but yeah, he went in. This is the story. The official tied them up, went back out, said, okay, go make it look like and then left them, drove off. And they had to hitchhike Tex and those girls back to wherever they're, Swan Ranch. And then Charlie supposedly, okay, he's in Hollywood. He drives to Selmar. You know how far Selmar is from Hollywood? Out in the fucking desert, basically. And they dropped off, like they hid the wife's wallet and stuff. Now, why would you even want to do that? And then drove back to Venice in this time scale. Are you kidding me? In some old ragged hippie mobile? Selmar? Shit, you might as well go. And then south to Selmar, back to Venice, and then back to, come on. The prosecutor on this case, what was his name? Anyway, Crooked. Just a crazy madman. Again, a lot of this shit should come out. They need to be telling people the truth. Or is that still going on in hyperdrive? Like, meaning, that like the music industry is corrupt more corrupt than it ever was. They put all their baskets in a gangster rap, and then some of the biggest companies started buying prisons. Like Sony owns all these fucking prisons. How do you get people in prison, man? Start slinging fucking gangster rap. Yeah, I'm a murderer. I'm this, I'm that. Kids are, impressionable, man. Within that period from the 90s to now, how many the prison prop boom, and it's a private industry prisons. They're not owned by like a government or the state. No, it's these sleazy fucking businessmen that want people in jail. Hell, I think in California, like every person in prison, it's over 100,000 a year for the simplest jail guy. And then the higher ups, these like guys you got to keep in, solitary. I don't know. It's a business, and business is good, I guess. Shit. Got to start questioning motherfuckers. Question the narrative. Read the Manson file, Nicholas Schreck. Read Chaos. I know that Nicholas Schreck, I don't know. I've watched something about him, but he doesn't agree with Tom O'Neill, who thinks it's all CIA, just that, the other. They both did great work on their books, and also, okay, before Charlie got out in like 67, summer of 67. Before that, he was in jail. He ran like a modeling agency off of Franklin, right behind the Mann's Chinese Theater. My friend used to had rented his apartment, had to move out because it was Charlie Manson's old apartment. And people are throwing rocks at the window day and night. This was in like the 50s, like the late 50s, early 60s. Charles Manson ran this is a legal poker game at Elvis's house. Like Charles Manson knows fucking Elvis or knew. What? Why would Elvis need to be? Well, Colonel Tom Parker is probably crooked, all mobbed up, and and this is illegal for elites. So they're like gambling with a lot of money. And little Charles Manson is the huh? That's some shit. That's so stupid. It seems it's got to be real. Can you imagine Elvis kicking with Charles? Hey, man, shit. You would think like a person like they made Charlie look like this little sleazy dude. He wouldn't know anybody. Dude, he knew them all. He knew everybody. And they were helping him out. Again, Neil Young said, oh my God, he's the next, he's going to be famous. The Beach Boys, don't you think that they had seen every kind of great songwriter? The Beach Boys had Brothers Records, and I think they were going to sign Charlie. And again, of course, he's a convict. They wouldn't know about this nefarious plan. They're not going to call up Brian Wilson like, oh, Brian, babe, yeah. Well, anyway, we got this nefarious shit. We're going to propaganda, but anyway, just follow. No. Then he went crazy after that. I know a crazy story about Brian Wilson, but I don't know if I should say it. Again, it's a landlord of mine told me that I shouldn't say. So something's afoot. Something isn't right. And I guarantee you that same program is probably going on. It's probably called something stupid, like Project Nightingale or some stupid shit. And all these, James Angleton kind of weirdo motherfucking, intelligence people. Look, Google a picture of James Angleton. Just look, whoa, he ain't right. Well, he's the head of our CIA. He's what? That guy? That creepy fucking shaky. Looks like fucking Dracula. Creepier than Dracula. Dracula had some game and Mac and kind of dressed not. No, he's. And that one CIA head that was in the 70s, they did like some committee, and the CIA admitted that they had these guns and they were doing all this nefarious shit and own news. The people that are on the news, these news anchor guys, were CIA agents and all that stuff. I forgot his name, but he got after the CIA. They found him floating in a 50-gallon drum Oh no, that's okay. We should be investigating that. He was the head of our CIA, and all of a sudden he's cut up, stuffed in a 50 pound, and like thrown in like the Bay of Miami or something. Oh, that was just well, unsolved. Nobody knows what he. You mean to tell me the head of all of our secrets steps down or whatever happened to him, and then he ends up in a 50-pound drum like mob style? Oh, don't look that way. That's just that happens. Doggone it, man. We should be to this day flipping over every rock but they can't, because you know why? Because that's what's going on. That's the only game in town. See, you and I, with our normal lives and this, that, and the other, and have to 9 to 5, whatever it is. There are families that they're brought up, born into this shit. Laugh, ha ha ha. They look at us like ants. They'll just step on a bunch of it. They don't care. And we fund it all through our taxes. Thanks. Yeah, nefarious fucking shit. Just you want to grit your teeth and be. It's going on. It's still going on. I bet anybody, I know this, everybody you see on TV, for one, they're not the most talented. They've had to do sexual favors and this, that, and the other, and God knows what, run illegal card games. Who knows? Hell, that's probably the good. I only have to run an illegal card game. Whew, thank God. I don't want to. Hitmen that are fucking hosts of the Gong Show. This is the world we live in. That's the reality. Not this rainbow and lollipop kind of shit where you think, well, if I work hard and I don't know. No. Oh, you want to succeed? Well, you don't fit the profile. So toil away, if you will. We suggest struggle, struggle, repeat. Just keep on doing struggle, struggle, repeat. Struggle, struggle, repeat. Oh, you're not getting there. All right. See. All lies will be. Come on, man. Every old book, every ancient fucking knowledge you could find, that's what they say. It's going to happen. It probably already is. I would love to read those documents. It probably has, honestly, it probably has nothing to do with it has to do with some kind of secret program. They want a Operation Mockingbird or some shit. They had to get rid of that free love and hippie shit. No, they don't want people doing that. They want our boys going to Vietnam and, because that's what happened. That's what that kicked that shit off. Maybe they needed a sacrifice. Of course, you need a baby, a pregnant woman or something. Evil. Fucking evil. We need to know. We got to know. Because if you don't know, you're going to repeat the same mistakes. These motherfuckers will keep repeating whatever they're doing. Just go, hey, it worked last time. We need another Charles Manson. And somebody probably, oh, you were so smart to think of that so-and-so. I know. Look at me. I'm so. That kind of shit. Just. You don't want to think about it. Hell, you're just like, oh, leave me alone. I just want to go to. Comment below. Let me know what you think. It's just my humble opinion. I'm just asking questions. I don't know. I'm not sitting there going, well, see, I think that I'm just asking. I'm repeating rumors, kind of. Read Chaos by Tom O'Neill. Read The Manson File by Nicholas Schreck. Give them some love. Again, I do this every day, y'all. Every day. And I love y'all. Be blessed. Cheers.